and welcome to another awesome Level Up panel discussion. I'm Laura Nicole Sinclair, fashion, image, and brand strategist, an Emmy Award winning journalist, speaker, and your host. I am so excited to be here. And over the last year, we all have unfortunately experienced loss in some form, whether it was our home, jobs, physical touch, or even our beloved loved ones. Picking up the pieces from it all can be hard. Joining me to have this conversation on how we all can pick up the pieces is a great group from across the world who all have felt a similar pain that so many of us have dealt with over the past year. Please help me welcome Rayla Allerson.
Hi, I'm Rayla Allerson. I'm a global educator, international speaker, mentor, and green entrepreneur. And I'm very happy to be here. Yes, I have experienced loss this year.
Yes, thank you so much, Rayla, for joining us. Lee Mariano.
Hi, everyone. Lee Mariano here. I am a transformational life and success coach, and I am so happy to be here with you tonight as we talk about how to recover from and overcome the loss that we have all experienced over this last year.
Yes. Welcome. Next, we have Noreen Henry.
Greetings, everybody. It's such a pleasure to be here. I am Noreen Henry, a victorious living strategist. And this is the perfect topic because that's what I'm about, overcoming. So thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. Next, we have Dr. Marcia Whitaker.
Thank you, Lauren, and thank you to the other panelists for being here. And I am a physician and also a life coach, and I help women who feel trapped in their personal prison, and I help them to break out and to live life without limits. And I'm excited to go dive a little deeper into this topic on how we keep going after loss.
Thank you for being. Next, we have Cher Graham.
Hi, everyone, and thanks, Lauren. I am a coactive human care coach, a writer, and I tell stories about people and their human behavior. This past year, I've felt lost, but not like everyone else. My loss was in knowing that I was helping others, nonprofit organizations, individuals, walk through their loss. And I have a different approach on how I handle loss. And thank you for having us here.
Thank you, Cher. I can't wait to hear more about that. And last but not least, Miss Cian Wilson.
Good evening. I am so excited to be here. Very grateful for your topic on today. I am an author, a speaker, a motivational coach for over 8,000 students at the Tennessee State University. So I deal hands-on with women who have issues such as depression, anxiety, who self-sabotage, and who also procrastinate. All of those to which I've had. So I'm excited to learn more from each of you so that I can take this information back to the women at Tennessee State University. It's a pleasure.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here with us. This is an amazing group. And like I said, this group is from across the world. And I'm sure this will be a great opportunity for us all to pull from one another, especially when we get in dark places and we just need that little extra push, to move forward. So I have my paper, I have my pen, I am ready to dive in. I'm ready to talk about it. I want to start with you, Dr. Marcia. And as a physician and a life coach, you're seeing both sides of it, over the past year, the physical health, and then being a life coach, that's more of the mental, right? And so tell me a little bit more of how this last year has been for you, and if you have had a dark moment yourself over the last year.
Yeah, as you said, thank you. It has been challenging, and even in the illness realm, there's been times when we've been sick and we're afraid to even go to the doctor because you don't want to become sicker, or what many have had is they were unable to come home, and loved ones have passed away. And so the thing that I also have is a challenge is that the time of talking about the mental, we've needed more time. And in the rat race of how clinical medicine is, we don't have the time to devote to it. And so that is, we're in this space where it's now okay not to be okay.
Exactly. You're right. It is now okay to not be okay. I think it's more of an acceptable thing, especially as a group of women. A lot of times we pick up the pieces, we keep it moving, but we really haven't healed the pieces that are broken inside of us. So you are so right, and I'm so glad that we're able to have conversations like this to normalize it and say it's okay, feel how you feel, and let's keep moving. Let's move forward, but we got to deal with it. Noreen, I want to bring you in because you said this is something that you deal with your clients daily, right?
Yeah, it's overcoming, because the question that you asked, like how we were affected by everything that happened last year. So we had passings of family close to us and friends close to us, and not being able to go to celebrate their life or doing it on Zoom. And so those were challenging because you don't get that closure that you would normally get. And so for me, it was quite challenging. And then I'm the type of person that I keep moving forward and look at everything from a positive standpoint. So I've had lessons, even though there's a lot of things that were negative. I've had a lot of lessons in this season, because currently I'm still working my job and I'm working at home permanently, and that saves a lot for me. And so even though there's a lot of negativity that goes on, I look at the positives in it and look at things from God's perspective.
Rayla, I want to bring you in and talk to you a little bit about your past year, how you have dealt with picking up the pieces in your own life or those close to you.
Well, it's been an absolutely interesting year. I don't think anybody of us prepared for it. I have lost, actually, in the past, it's been very interesting here in Manila. We've actually lost families. That's how bad the virus has hit us. And but the silver lining here is really the connectivity that allows us, for instance, occasions like this, wherein we gather, not knowing really each person there, but there is this shared humanity. Each and every one of us is struggling in our individual ways and coping, managing. Now, in my case, in my personal case, I have had the pleasure for a second chance, and I got married last year, January, right before the COVID. And if I did not do that, then I would not be able to, things have to be official for you to be able to cross borders, etc. That has been a blessing. But still in all, at this point, we're still separated. But you cope again, and you just make do.
Wow.
You make do.
Congratulations. I know that has to be tough to be separated, but it really kind of goes back to picking up the pieces. You had a distraction, something to kind of help you stay in a different mindset. And so regardless of if we lost things ourselves, sometimes it's so easy to go into a space when you're seeing all of this covered on the news, and it's just so much, just thing after thing, and seeing the doctors and the nurses, like people who you're used to seeing so sterile, just like very strong, breaking down. It was devastating to watch, and I think mentally took a toll on a lot of people. I even found myself just in a dark place sometimes, just feeling for the people across the world, the number of lives that have been lost. Lee, how did you cope with this, especially mentally?
So, it's interesting. In my day job, I'm a chief HR officer, and I actually just, retired. so some of the things I saw over the last year were actually due to my work, because we had to terminate the employment of, I want to say, over 200 people. And to terminate someone's employment during the time of a pandemic,
Wow.
it was literally telling these people, your employment here is ending. We know the world has literally stopped turning. There's nothing we can do for you. And now you have to go home and tell your spouse, your children, whomever, that you no longer have a job. And sitting across from people, of course, we're on Zoom, right? But sitting across from someone on video, telling them this and seeing them break down and cry, and having to do that over 200 times, that took a toll on me. That took a toll on my mental state. We also had an employee who passed away from COVID at the very beginning. In early March, mid-March, when the world kind of shut down, we had an employee who passed away. And wow. it was hit after hit after hit. And for me, just to keep going, right? I had to be there for my employees. I had to be there for the company. I had to be there for myself, my own family. We were dealing with this change. And I really had to just think about, even though the challenge was there, that people were we still had to keep going. We still had to put one foot in front of the other. And as I transitioned over to life coaching and helping women kind of rediscover themselves and move forward in their lives, some of those same skills that I needed as I was helping people overcome in my role as a chief HR officer, I've been able to pull over into the life coaching, because it's really all about putting one foot in front of the other and knowing and understanding that tomorrow is a brighter day, that there is something else meant for you. So it's really it's a challenge, it's a struggle. But I know that if people just have to keep moving forward, they'll get to the next step. They'll get to the brighter day.
Right. And I think you brought great points, change, challenge, and keep going. Share.
I take a different approach. My faith has always been there to help guide me through the last 6.5 decades of my life. And even when I felt that I wasn't talking to God, or I wasn't giving my higher power enough energy, I found that knowing that things were where they needed to be for a reason helped me. And it allows me as a coactive human care coach and a behaviorist to help others understand that change occurs. It is the only constant we have in life. And it occurs as we're sitting here talking with each other every second. So for me, I understand that I can make that choice to make a change. Just like that. Snap your fingers, it can be done. I have a saying that I work with some of my self-care clients, and that is breathe, smile, and laugh. And in those 3 seconds, 3 other things have happened. But at the end of breathe, smile, and laugh, they laugh and they smile. And so change is a choice. What I also found during this last year was it brought to attention a lot of the areas, whether you're an entrepreneur or a parent, or I'm single, being single person, that you might not see elsewhere. And that is, are we doing a lot of planning and thinking about where we are? And for me, I spent much of that time helping other nonprofit organizations. I'm the Mental Health Coalition co-chair, and we took on helping other nonprofits, finding the face coverings, helping them find PPEs, helping them with resources. And this community came together. What I did see was something that my fear as we move out of this pandemic and order is kindness. We saw so many people around the world who acts of kindness were amazing and are amazing. And when the states continue to make the stay-at-home orders different, or no mask or no face covering order, what I'm seeing now is people are trying to get back to what they consider their normal, but there is no normal. What's normal for me today wasn't normal yesterday. And that kindness that they might have had and showed others, they're not showing. So we're getting back to being rude, being not understanding, and you talked about apathy and compassion. My fear is that as we pick up the pieces, we still have to find that compassion and empathy that, we had a year ago, that we built up over the last year. And so I'm not seeing it. So, that's a choice. And I'm grateful that I have an opportunity to help those who need help.
Absolutely. And we're grateful for people like you, and kindness is healing. It is a form of healing. When we start seeing those news stories about people around the world who were doing those acts of kindness, it did lift you up out of that dark place for a moment. And it was so nice to see that. Now, Cher, you do have on PPE this evening. And you told us, privately, but just for those who are wondering,
Well, this is part of my daily wear and has been for many years pre-pandemic. And just to let you know that the United States government has a national preparedness plan, and in it, over the last 20 years, they wrote an entire plan for a pandemic. But if you don't read the national plan, you may not know that our government, in and when writing, they put in as a pandemic. So they were well aware of the word decades ago. But my face covering is for my health. I have chemical toxicities. So as our air changes and the quality of toxins in the air, and some of them I don't even know, could be chemicals that are in my house, a new product that comes in line with, I wear it so that I can breathe and I can sit here and talk to you without coughing or having to screen out so that I can sneeze or do whatever. So this is why I wear a face mask and a face covering. So, and I love it. It's a part of my daily environment, and it has been. So everyone who complained about having to wear one, I just laugh and go, I'm sorry, but I wear one every day, and I don't care if it matches or not. And mine doesn't today. So, you just have to be beautiful and laugh. Yeah. And that's why I wear one. But thank you for asking. No, I have no problem. It's me. Yay, it's me.
Well,
and I'm smiling underneath.
Wonderful. And it is a part of our everyday life now. And so this is something that you have been going through, and I think we all can sympathize with you a little differently. And Laurel, so you're gonna have to tell me more about where you get your mask. And I made masks over the pandemic, so I may have to send you some masks too.
I will gladly wear them. I have, we were able to connect 5 different face covering groups over the last year. In the first 90 days of the pandemic to 2,500 masks made and delivered to 27 nonprofits over the course of Mobile County. And I was excited because we sent them, we shipped them. We, if anyone called and said, I need them, we knew in what state where to go. So we actually helped some hospitals in Houston, Texas. We helped some businesses in Atlanta. So it was just wherever. But I will be glad. I will be glad to wear one.
Awesome. And I like one of the things that you said was breathe, smile, and laugh. And when you said it, I did. I chuckled and I smiled. And Cian, I want to bring you in now to talk about your past year and how you are breathing, smiling, and laughing after that. Breathing, yes.
Yes.
With all 8,000 kids, is that what you said?
8,000 every day, at least 9 months out of the year, and I love it. As an author and a speaker, I love doing that, but that's new to me. That's just the last 2 to 3 years with my book, Overcoming Me, and then Overcoming You, as in overcoming students. But as the director of the Women's Center at Tennessee State University, definitely it has been a very stressful, a very complicated year attempting to reach out to young ladies. And when we're talking about professional development, leadership development, mentorship, and even offering coaching services to them, it was great when we were hands-on because they could come in my office. I went to dinner or lunch with them, but now we sent them, every university, every college had to send their students home. And so what we didn't even think about, I remember that Dr. Whitaker was talking about mental awareness, mental health, and physical, but we did not think about domestic violence. Most of the time, whether it's those of us, faculty, staff, individuals, we see our families a couple of hours each day. We leave, go to work. Then when we come home, we eat together maybe, and then, we go to bed. But now that we've sent everyone home, we've seen everything on television. We're trying to explain to our students why lives matter. We're trying to help them understand why they can't socialize. And if you know anything about students, they will challenge you. So I've had to be strategic, intentional, and creative in reaching them and making sure that they were not in pain, making sure that they were okay and knew how to voice what was going on inside of them. We're talking about 18 to 21-year-olds. And some, if we're talking graduate students, a little bit older. But definitely, I have done all that I could, sometimes being in a not so good state myself. But as Cher was just saying, leaning on my own faith and belief in Christ, that's my higher power. And so leaning and depending on him and asking him to help me to reach these students.
Absolutely. I think that is the best way, because we cannot do it on our own. We need the help of those around us, of our loved ones, to really just move forward. Like Cher said, the community came together to figure out how we can help one another, bring hope to one another. So I want to talk a little bit more about picking up the pieces and how we do that and how we find hope. So Rayla, I want to bring you back in and let's talk to our viewers about how we can push forward and pick up the pieces.
I've always been a very positive person, and you really, it's always best to look at the bright side. There's always this silver lining. And I think what it has brought out is what you mentioned, community and creativity. Necessity, invention is the mother of necessity. What has happened here, for instance, is in this subdivision or village that I live in, everybody has started to become, open up their kitchens and become entrepreneurial. And there is what you call the hyper-local markets, because we live in a country where there are 110 million people, and a lot of very, very poor people. So, for instance, what has happened is through this year, we're taking care of 600 families and feeding them, and also we've also gone into looking into livelihood programs so that you don't only give them the fish, but teach them how to fish. And I can, is it Cian? Yes, darling. Because I'm in education as well, and I have a foundation, and I have embraced the public education sector, and these are the children that are most marginalized. And I have goosebumps just thinking of really being able to be around for two children that nearly committed suicide. Yeah. So, but I think this time has really brought out the best in many people. You mentioned kindness and humanity, and that's the thing that we need to celebrate.
Absolutely, we absolutely do. We need to celebrate that, and we need to normalize also. There's that word, normalize mental health, and that it is okay to talk to someone.
Right.
And we did see over the past year numbers go up when it comes to therapy. Even online therapy, they have all type of resources now where you don't have to leave your home. You can stay on your own couch and talk virtually. Dr. Marcia, I want to bring you back in because this is your field. And what can you tell our audience about mental health, and what would you say to encourage them while they are picking up the pieces, how this can help them pick up the pieces?
So as a life coach, one of the things that we teach is the mindset. And the most powerful thing of how we move through this is to change how we think. And even though this was a bad experience, we have talked even on the panel about the community, about the kindness. And something happens when there is a natural disaster, where there is some commonality in distress. When, I hate to say it, but with the shootings and all that kind of stuff, when we have boiled down and taken away the barriers of us just being human, now we're able to lock arms together and make masks and do all and feed those that are lacking. And so there's that community where we're now able to say, you know what, I'm not in this alone. I have other people, I have other families, there are other countries that are going through the same thing. So let's boil it down to where we are common as opposed to focusing on where we're different.
Well, guys, this has been absolutely awesome. This is such a needed conversation, and I took a lot from each of you ladies, really just moving forward. And I think the biggest thing, my biggest takeaway, is kindness. And it can come in all different forms, whether we are receiving it or giving it. And when we give, we receive it back, right?
Absolutely.
So if we all
Absolutely.
in the midst of trying to pick up the pieces for ourselves, if we can show kindness to other people, then maybe it would help give us a little bit of hope, a little glimmer of hope to move forward, to pick up the pieces, to put one foot in front of the other. What do they say? You eat an elephant one bite at a time. You make a house one brick at a time. And as we are all trying to pick up the pieces, just to take one step at a time. And it's okay to cry it out. It is absolutely okay to take time for yourself. So before we wrap everything up, if you all will we'll do a quick round robin on a few encouraging words that we can give our audience to help them pick up the pieces and move forward. And we will start with Lee.
Thank you so much, Lauren. I appreciate it. So my final words are just remember, your purpose here. I know that this has been a very tough year. I know that this has been a very tough time for people to go through, but get up every morning, breathe in and out, take one step, put one foot in front of the other every single day, and you will make it to the other side. So those are my final thoughts.
Awesome. I love it. Noreen, your final words.
My final words are, there is always hope. Like, even though there's circumstances that are challenging, there is always hope. We always have to look at there's a silver lining. Things will change. Things will get better. So always remember, no matter what, there is always hope. There is always hope.
Love that. There is always hope. Rayla.
I want to say that there is a God, a supreme being bigger than ourselves. And with that, hope does spring eternal.
Absolutely.
And use this time. It's been a precious time to reflect, and you need to take care of yourself. You need to love yourself, because you cannot give what you do not have, and so that people can borrow strength from you.
Thank you so much. Share.
Here are 4 tips that I give from my self-care classes and with my clients. You are the creator of your own reality. Your thoughts become words. Words are powerful. If you need to change your thoughts, change your words, change your mindset. But most of all, remember that you can retrain your brain, and change is okay, but you can do it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then breathe, smile, and laugh.
Love it. Share, that's how I get out the bed every morning. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do it. Let's do it. Awesome. Dr. Marcia.
Sure. My final words are feel the feels. And a lot of times we spend time running and not acknowledging, but there's power in acknowledging where you are. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to be mad. But once you acknowledge it, then you can decide to change it to something else. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. So awesome. Acknowledging where you are. And last but not least, Miss Cian Wilson.
Thank you again for this opportunity to be here. I've enjoyed hearing everyone. Believe in God for those that are believers, or believe in your higher purpose. There is gold in the ashes. For every negative thing that has happened, I believe that all of us will realize that we've gotten great things. Even in spite of the negativity, there have been positives that have come out of this. And also be available for others, and make sure that you truly see what's going on around you, and that people do need each and every one of us in their lives.
Wow. Love that. Be available for others. Ooh, such good wisdom in this room, and I am so grateful to be in it with each of you ladies. This has been great. I told you I was taking notes. This is a paper full of notes. I am really grateful. I really hope you at home have taken to heart what each of these ladies have said, and that you have found some way to pick up the pieces and just keep moving forward, because there is somebody out there waiting on you to pick up those pieces. Okay, there's someone out there waiting for you to get your business together. And we all in this room, we are all rooting for you as we are going through this time together. But once this pandemic is over, there will still be rough times and rough patches, and we still have to pick up those pieces. So I hope that you take to heart what these women have said and you move forward gracefully. Look, this is a powerful group, like I've said, and you can find out where you can hear each one of these ladies who are speaking on this stage again. So make sure you go to time2levelup.com and find out where you can hear these ladies speak again. Thank you, ladies, so much for joining us. Thank you guys at home for joining us. This has been an honor to be your host. Remember, you can upgrade your tickets at time2levelup.com. You can also go see those awesome vendors at time2levelup.com. Listen, there's so much more to enjoy. I hope you are enjoying this Level Up Summit. And until next time, I'm Lauren Nicole Sinclair, and I'll see you. Bye-bye.